Hi everyone. In this session we will discuss about file allocation methods. File allocation methods. So here the file allocation methods will define you how the files are stored inside the disk. Okay, it will explain you, or we are going to explain you, or it defines how the files are stored inside the disk. So there are three file allocation methods. Okay, they are nothing but contiguous allocation, linked allocation and indexed allocation. Okay, so the main idea behind these methods is to provide efficient disk space utilization. We have to utilize the disk efficiently. That is one of the reason, and the other one is to access quickly or fast access to the file blocks. Okay, so we will discuss these three allocation methods with an example in detail. So coming to the first one, contiguous allocation. Contiguous allocation is nothing but we have to allocate. Suppose if we store a file inside the disk, if a file is stored inside the disk, the contents of that file has to be stored continuously in the continuous address locations. Let us suppose this is file name. So we will represent, this is file name. This is starting address location. This is the length. Okay. Let us suppose the file is a text file. This is the name of the file, text file. The starting address location is 0. Okay, 0. Okay. Length is 3. So 0, 1, 2. Okay, 0, 1, 2. So in these three, this file will be stored in these continuous address locations, because the name itself, it is very clear that contiguous allocation. So here this text file will be stored in the continuous blocks. Okay, see, so this is the starting address 0. The length is 3, means 0, 1, 2. Length is 3. So allocated blocks are 0, 1, 2. So 0, 1, 2 are allocated for this first one. Coming to the next file name, it's a video file. Okay, so the starting address location is 4, means here. This is the starting address location. Length is 2, means 4 and 5. So 1, 2. So allocated blocks are 4, 5. So here in these two blocks, this video file is stored. Come to the next. Another document is there. Another file. So the starting address is 9. 9 is here. This is the starting address. Length is 3. So 9, 10, 11. That is 1, 2, 3. Okay. So allocated blocks are 1, 2, 3. Okay. So here this file, the third file started here and it will end here. The second file, it will start here and these two. The first file, these three. Okay. Right. So this is an example for contiguous allocation. We will see one more example. See, this is also similar to the previous example only. This is also contiguous memory allocation only. So here the file name is count. Starting address 0. So starting address C. This is the starting address C. Length is 2. 1 and 2. Next. So this is the file name. Next file is TR file. Starting address is 14. Okay. Length is 3. So 14, 15, 16. So these three, 14, 15, 16. Okay. Continuously it was stored. Okay. If you see in next file, it is mailed. Starting address location is 19. Length is 6. So starting address location 19, 20, 21, 22 and 23. Totally 6 locations. All the blocks were stored continuously. Coming to the next one is F. Starting address is 6. Length is 2 and 6 and 7. This is this, right? So hope you have understood the contiguous memory allocation. This is also an example for contiguous memory allocation only. Okay. Next, what are the advantages of contiguous memory allocation? The advantage of contiguous memory allocation is it is simple to implement. It is very easy. Why? Because if we give the starting address location, so by default it will store contiguously in the continuous memory blocks. It will be stored. So we will get excellent read performance. If you want to read any file also, if you know the starting address location, from that we can read continuously without any interrupt, right? And it supports random access into files. Okay. And coming to the disadvantages, So here the disk will become fragmented, okay, and it may be difficult to have file grow. Means in order to increase the size of the file, it may be difficult. Why? Because if you see here, so here we are starting. Here this file is started in the 6th location. Suppose if you want to store 10 more blocks, if you want to store under the file name count, so it may not be possible. Why? Because from 6th location we have another file. Only available were 2, 3, 4, 5. So in that situation, it may be difficult for a file to have a file grow. Coming to the second one, it is a linked list allocation. Linked list means okay. So in our data structure, you might have studied a linked list concept. What is a linked list? So linked list will be like this. We'll have a pointer. The first part consists of data, and the second part consists of the address of next node. Okay, right? It will be indicated with a pointer. Okay, pointer points to the next node. Okay, here also we'll have data and address of next node. Okay, here also we'll have data, and if this is the last one, here we'll have represent with null node. So here also we'll have. So each file is a linked list of disk blocks which need not be contiguous. It need not be contiguous. Okay. So we will see this. We will see this with an example. So with an example we will see. So this is the file name. G is the file name. Let us suppose. And this is the starting address. This is the ending address. Meanwhile, see, starting address is 9. So we have started at 9. So where is 9? 9 is here. The address location 9 is here. Okay, with 9. Okay. So first we have read. This is block number. This is block. So inside the block, what data we have read. Okay. First we went to 9 because the starting address is 9. Starting is 9. So inside the 9, what we have, the data is 1 we have. So from 9 it went to 16. From 9 we went to 16. From 9 we went to 16. See, 16. From 16 we went to 1. From 16 we went to 1. From 1 we went to 2. From 1 we went to 2. From 2 we went to 25. Not 2. From 1 we went to 10. Block number. We have to look after the block number. So first we started with 9 to 16. Okay, it pointed to 16. 16, no, this node, it pointed to 1. From 1 it pointed to 10. From 10 it pointed to 25. Okay, yes, 25. With this we have stopped. This is the ending address. See here. So meanwhile, all the remaining, just we have given the start address and ending address. Okay. Meanwhile, no, the next locations are represented with linked list. Okay. So this is an example. Okay, for linked list. So here also we have some advantages are there. So here there is no point of external fragmentation. If you use the linked list concept, there won't be any external fragmentation. And we can utilize any free block. Any free block can be utilized. Okay. And here no, the file can be grown as long as we require. Because we are going to point out, see, we can point out all the free locations. From 25 we can point to 20, next 17, next 23, next 29, like that we can go anywhere. We can occupy all the blocks which are free. That's why now we can grow it as much as we can or as long as we require. Okay, and the directory requires only the starting address location, starting block address. Okay, that's only required. And coming to the disadvantages, random access is not provided. Why? Because see here, suppose if you want to access 16. We can't access directly. We have to start from the starting address 9. From 9 we have to start. And we have to search where we are getting 16. Suppose if you want to 10. So we have to start from 9. 9 to 16, 16 to 1, 1 to 10. Like that. Straight away we can't access it. Okay, that's a disadvantage. Random access is not provided. Okay, and the pointers also requires some space in the disk block. That is also one disadvantage. Okay, here the memory is being wasted because we are unnecessarily wasting the memory for storing the pointer. Okay, and next, if any pointer is not linked exactly, or if anything goes wrong with respect to a pointer, then the entire thing will go wrong. Okay, and we need to traverse each block. Suppose if we want to traverse the last one, suppose if there are in a linked list, no, if there are 100 elements or 100 nodes or 100 blocks, suppose if you want to retrieve or if you want to know the information regarding the 99th one, so we have to start from first one, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4 and so on to 99. It's a time taking process. So that is the disadvantage using linked list. So the next one is indexed list allocation. So here we have an additional block. That block is known as index block. Okay. So here what we are doing is for each file an individual indexing block will be there. Okay. It holds the disk address of the ith file. We will see that with an example. We will explain that with an example. If you see this, see here, this is the file name. So this is the file name and this is the indexing block. Means simply we will go to that indexing block. Means all the blocks are associated with this indexing block only. So 19. So 19 is associated with 10. See, 19 is associated with 10. It is associated with 9. It is associated with 17. With 1. With 26. Like that. It is associated with with many blocks. What are the blocks you want to be associated with this? So it is associated with all the blocks. Okay. So we need not give anything. Just we will give an additional index block. That's what we have specified. That's what we have specified. In this indexing block, the ith entry holds the disk address of the ith file block. Okay. Whatever the number of blocks we want to address, so all those will be associated with this indexing block. Okay. Like that we can do the indexing. Okay, like that we can go for the indexing allocation. Okay. Next, the advantage is, so here we have some advantages. So it solves the problem of external fragmentation. By using this, it solves the problem of external fragmentation as well as it provides a direct access. See, it provides direct access. Suppose if you want to access 10, from 19 straight away you can access 10, or you can access 1, or you can access 9, or you can access 16, or you can access 25. Whatever the block you want to access, you can access directly. That is the main advantage of using this indexed method. The disadvantage is, in indexing allocation, pointer overhead is more, because sometimes if a pointer is having 100 pointers is pointed, if it is pointed to 100 subblocks, then in that situation it may be difficult. Okay, suppose if this is lost, if this indexing block, that is 19, if we lost this, so we can't identify the remaining thing. So that is the disadvantage of using this. Okay, so with this, so that's the use of indexing allocation. So with this we will wind up this session. Okay, thank you.